I don't get it. I don't understand what they're trying to do. 5.9 yards right now is their average depth of target through 2 games. It's by far the lowest in Jalen Hurts' career. It's actually not even close to where he's been in his career. I think that this team needs to allow Jalen Hurts to be Jalen Hurts. I don't know why it seems to me that they no longer trust Jalen Hurts. They don't even want to give him the fucking ball. They don't even want to let him do anything in the passing game. And I got some data and some statistics to talk about and to prove it to you guys. All right, because I know a lot of people, hey Pop, all the people in here who are mad at me for talking about it. Oh my God, you can't talk about it. We're 2-0, Zander. Shut up. We also have the best offensive roster in all of football, and it's not particularly close. Okay? It's not particularly close. I think we could be a little bit more high-powered than what we've done so far. Okay? I think we could be a little bit more high-powered than what we've done so far. But we're going to take a look at it. We're actually going to look at Jalen Hurts through the years and what the statistics and what the numbers bear out to be. And I'm not just talking about, hey, he threw for this many yards in this many years. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about they don't trust him throwing the ball. Why? Why? I don't get it. I do not get it. This reductionist mindset to do not throw the ball downfield because the possibility of a turnover happening, it's like don't get in your car because you might get into an accident. Don't walk outside because you might trip on the sidewalk and crack your skull. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand what they're trying to do. 5.9 yards right now is their average depth of target through 2 games. It's by far the lowest in Jalen Hurts' career. It's actually not even close to where he's been in his career. So they're not pushing the ball downfield. They're not trying to push the ball downfield. They don't want to push the ball downfield. I don't know why. And I don't think it's crazy to expect a little bit more from this offense. I'm sorry, but I just don't. All right? I don't think we should be graded at the bottom of the league offensively when we have superstar caliber players at damn near every single position. I don't get it. All right? I really don't get it. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. We'll do a giveaway today as well on Zander Time. Anybody who becomes a member on the website, a Legend member, will get a free t-shirt today. I got like 9 or 10 Eagles shirts left to give away. I already sent one out. My boy Mike Berghorst. Mike, if you're listening, thank you, brother. I packaged up your shirt. I'm going to go and ship it after the show today. So we're going to talk about that. We'll do a giveaway as well. And appreciate all the great people for being here this morning. I didn't get to all of our super chats, which I apologize on Johnny Mac. But, you know, ZZZ, I think you're right. I think you're right. I know people are going to give you a hard time because, you know, people don't want to talk about it. People don't want to acknowledge that it's a thing. It's just, okay, we won, so you can't say shit. But ZZ, I'm kind of with you. Let's go to some more super chats here real quick. Amwan, what's up, brother? Sorry I didn't get these for Johnny Mac, everybody. It's not ugly. It's boring and straight fundamentals. Very old school. Greg Popovich, San Antonio Spurs. I don't know, man. I don't even know if it's that. I hear you. I think it's a fair comp, but dude, you have AJ Brown and Devon. Like that team had Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili. They did not let Manu Ginobili shoot the 3 because there was a less chance he made the basket. Like they don't even. AJ Brown has 35 yards in 2 games. 2 games. AJ fucking Brown. Sorry, I'm trying to not curse on the shows, but AJ Brown, 35 yards in 2 games. It's not even the Greg Popovich Spurs. It's not. I'm not saying there's animosity between the two. I'm saying they have, again, I keep using this word. They have reduced the offense with this reductionist mindset. All right. With this reductionist mindset, don't even try and push the ball downfield because the possibility of a turnover increases. Bullshit. Bullshit. It also makes you a more versatile, powerful offense. You know, it's like this arc of like when you can pass the ball downfield, you know, you increase your margin for error, but like this. Now, Yes, you could have a turnover that could drop it, but you're just going to not do it? Let's look at some numbers here, guys. Let's look at some numbers here. All right. Looking at 2025, only 2 games. All right. Only 2025, only 2 games. So again, it's a small sample size. Let's see how it continues to develop. All right. I do want to preface it with that. We will talk about it, but we will also put in the context. It's 2 games. They're 2-0. All right. Everything is going well. All right. I'd rather correct these problems at 2-0 than be 0-2 here. All right. 2 games. Jalen Hurts' completion percentage is 75.6. That would be the high in his career. His yards per attempt, as I pointed out earlier, yards per attempt, 5.6. Last year it was 8. Okay. Last year it was 8. He has 0 passing touchdowns and 0 interceptions. All right. 3 rushing touchdowns so far this year. So the key number there is the yards per attempt. If you go back and look at kind of his career, 2020, he had 4 starts in that year. All right. Only a 52% completion percentage in those 4 starts, 7.2 yards per attempt. 2021, when he got a little bit better, his first full year as a starter, 7.3 yards per attempt. 2022, a damn near MVP campaign for Jalen Hurts. Okay, A.J. Brown had 1,500 yards in that year, or 1,450 or whatever it was. His first year as an Eagle receiver. 8 yards per attempt there for Jalen Hurts. 22 passing touchdowns to 6 interceptions, 13 rushing touchdowns, and a 66.5% completion percentage. That, to me, is the ideal numbers for Jalen Hurts. 3,700 passing yards, 22 touchdowns to 6 picks, 67% completion percentage, and he's 8% or 8 yards per target. I think that's yards per attempt. I think that's a great sweet spot. 23, all right, the year where we collapsed. 7.2 yards per attempt, 23 passing touchdowns to 15 picks, so slightly higher on the interception and the turnover rate, a 65% completion percentage. Last year, 24, the Super Bowl offense, all right? Lesser attempts, obviously, a 68.7% completion percentage, 8 yards per attempt, tied with his high in 22. So 24 and 22, the 2 Super Bowl years had the same yards per attempt, 8 yards per attempt, 18 touchdowns to 5 picks with 14 rushing touchdowns last year. Okay. So those are the sweet spot. Now you come in 2 games this year, and that completion percentage is way up, 75.6%, but 5.6 yards per attempt. 5.6 yards per attempt. Way low. They're barely pushing it downfield at all. Barely pushing it downfield at all. Okay? So, again, there's a lot of different things we can look at. We can break down the RPOs, the play actions, the bootlegs, all those different things. They're not using them very much. They obviously used it a bunch in 22. They've completely gone away from that. I don't know why. I think they should maybe bring some of that back. Jalen's obviously a quarterback that thrives outside the pocket. He thrives on the move. He thrives in that environment. I think they should bring some of it back, but they don't seem to want to do that. All right. In 2025 so far, Hurts' average depth of target is very low, 5.9, as we just talked about. It's the lowest in the league. Ready for this, guys? This is the key stat. When you say, 5.9, it's not that bad. It's not that much lower than 8 last year. Ready for this? He is 33rd among 34 quarterbacks that have at least 20 dropbacks this season. 33rd out of 34 quarterbacks that have at least 20 dropbacks through 2 games this year. He is lower than the 32 starters in average depth of target. He is pushing the ball lower and less than any other starting quarterback in football. I mean, seriously, is that the offense that we think we should have with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith? Dank, I agree with this. I mean, there's definitely room for improvement. I think that's the positive, is that we're 2-0 and we're looking at this. But to me, Dank, it almost seems like they don't want Jalen to do it. They don't even want to put him in a position to utilize AJ and Devontae, because if you throw the ball downfield, you might have more turnovers. That's what it feels like to me. Now, again, maybe I'm the Eagle curmudgeon right now. Maybe all of you think I'm an asshole. Maybe I'll get ripped on social media or on YouTube right now for not enjoying the wins as they come. Maybe. But forgive me if I believe that with this offense, with this caliber of players, with this talent, it feels like we should be better. Forgive me if I think that. All right. Obviously, I'm happy with the wins. I don't think it's entirely a Jalen Hurts problem. I know some people do. I don't think it's entirely a Jalen Hurts problem. All right. But I mean, I think the early signs of the passing game here is it's being entirely compressed. You know, they're asking him to throw way less deep, you know, very high shotgun pistol. Under center is used only for runs. I mean, very low average depth of target. Explosive plays seem extremely rare. Deep passing is absent with two plays, guys. He had one play in week 1 to Jahan Dotson and one 28-yard play to Devontae Smith. It doesn't feel like that's the way we should approach the game. It doesn't. You know? So I don't know if they don't trust them. I don't know if they believe that this very low risk offense is their best way to win. Perhaps that's it, and perhaps it has nothing to do with the quarterback. But I'm taking from this they don't trust him to throw anymore. All right, low depth of target, the lowest it's in his career. Very few explosive pass plays. All right, under center pass plays non-existent, which is kind of a constant in Hurts' career. He hasn't been an under center, play action quarterback, which I understand. I think they could use it a little bit more, but they don't. I mean, the other thing is the formation predictability in the game. Somebody put this out on social media. I don't have the numbers right in front of me right now, but the formation predictability here. Somebody put it out. Whenever they run a certain formation, you know what they're going to call. Which I don't think it's great. All right. No vertical pass plays. I don't know. Again, I don't want to be the guy who's up here at 2-0 crying about the Eagles. All right, I get it. I know a lot of people in here don't want to have these conversations, but part of the reason that I think JAKIB Sports is such a great, place to talk about football is because we give real context. We talk about real things. We talk about real depth of the game that helps you learn more and be better as a fan and know what you're watching when you're looking at it. Know what you're watching when you're looking at the game. And a lot of people will say, hey, we're 2-0. Who cares about any of that stuff? It's all stats. Yeah, I guess. We got talented players, man. We have way talented players. Way more talented players than they're using. Dank says, why is it trust? Maybe it's figuring out what works and adjusting as the season goes on. Well, maybe you're right, Dank. All right. Maybe. Trent says these conversations are fine. I lean more positive. Well, Trent, I'm with you. I'm not trying to be the doom and gloom guy, and I'm not, to be honest, man. I feel pretty good about the team right now. I just don't think this reduction mindset to do not push the ball down the field because you might turn the football over. I don't think that's a healthy way to go about it. I really don't. I mean, you have to take some chances in life. You have to take some chances in football. You have to rely on the talent that you have, the talent that you pay money to, the talent that you've acquired because you presumably believe in that talent, and you have to let them play football. Let them do what they do. If you have some turnovers here and there, okay. I mean, you're going to have to live with that a little bit. Denise says there's nothing to figure out. The Eagles organization knows what they're doing. It's not pretty to fans and talking heads, and they don't care. Yeah, but it's not about not being pretty, Denise. Denise, answer me this, all right? Answer me this, and I appreciate your comment because, I understand the people who view it like this. All right, I do. We're squeaking by teams right now with this offense, the way we're running right now. So much to the point that, yes, if we did have one turnover, we'd be fucked. Now, I don't know about you, but that's walking a thin line. That's like walking a tightrope, hoping you don't fall off. All right? That's like walking a tightrope, hoping you don't fall off. Meanwhile, we have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, the best O-line in football, Saquon fucking Barkley, the best running game in football. We have everything an offense could want. You literally could not improve this offense from a personnel standpoint because it's already too good. There's nowhere to improve on the offense. The offensive line is the best in football. The running back is the best in football. The 2 wide receivers are 2 top 5, top 10 receivers in football. You can't even improve it from a personnel standpoint. And we're supposed to just be squeaking by the Chiefs because, we have 94 net yards of passing because they don't want to turn the ball over? Like, that doesn't feel like the right way to win games. It doesn't. It doesn't. Now, hey, maybe I'm wrong. All right. I don't know. I understand. Look, I'm open to all the conversation. I really am. I'm not trying to say I'm right, and I'm not trying to say everybody else is right. I'm trying to have the conversation, give the proper context to what we're looking at, and, come up with a real, a thought process that makes sense. I think it's logical to want to improve. All right. I think it's practical to say we can be better as an offense. All right. Where I'm not going to go to the other side of it is doom and gloom at 2-0. I'm not going doom and gloom. All right. The team has the whole season in front of them. The defense is way ahead of schedule right now. They are 2-0. They haven't turned the football over at all. They're playing good football. I get it. There's a lot of positive here, and I'm not trying to discard that or throw that out the window. But I am trying to figure out why you pay a quarterback $52 million, and then the only job you give him is, throw the ball 5 yards downfield only, 2 passing plays deep in 2 games. All right. And just, Jalen, please, I'm paying you $50 million. All you got to do is just don't turn it over, buddy. Please, just don't throw the ball downfield. And now you got a quarterback who's gun shy, Denise, in the pocket because it's been beaten into his head. If you turn the ball over, we're going to lose the football game. So he has a small window, which they're all small in the NFL, to get the ball to A.J. Brown, to get the ball to Devontae Smith downfield. And he won't pull the trigger because they've beaten it to a pulp. You can't turn the football over. It's like they got him in chains. Like, I don't get it. I don't get why we build an offense. I think there's a world that exists where this offense can hum to a higher level, all right, and be more versatile and be able to win different ways. I don't know. Again, maybe I'm the curmudgeon today. Maybe I am. But maybe I am. Pete says Jose says, Zander, please. You're acting like Pete Carroll in the Super Bowl, overlooking things in 2 games. Jose, maybe you're right. All right. Maybe you're right. Dion says, fact of the matter is Jalen Hurts doesn't trust his reads. Why? Why doesn't he trust his reads, Dion? Because you're not allowed to turn the ball over. Don't even try and throw the ball. Newsflash, if you throw a football in the NFL, there's an opportunity for it to get turned over. The ball could get deflected. Travis Kelce could drop the ball. It could bounce off his hands and go right into Andrew McCool. All of those things exist. They're a part of the game. If you spend your whole season tiptoeing around the inevitable opportunity that the ball could be turned over, you're just never going to have a high-powered offense. And by the way, I think it's part of the reason that Saquon Barkley has his lowest yards per run right now, 3.7 or whatever it is. He was 6.5 last year or almost 6. At least, again, last year I gave you the stat. They might not have thrown the ball that much, but 8 yards per attempt. I mean, the threat was there. Boy, if we overcommit, look at the Super Bowl. Stack the box. Take away Saquon. That's fine. No worries. Devontae Smith dagger. Jahan Dotson down to the goal line. Dallas Goedert for 25 yards. Like, we've taken that threat out of our offense so far. It's not there. It's not there. It's not there, and it's hurting Saquon Barkley. It's hurting the offensive line, and most importantly, it's hurting your quarterback who's now playing gun shy. I don't think you want a quarterback playing gun shy. I'm sorry, I don't. I know people are like, oh, we're 2-0, and we don't turn the ball over and we win. Okay, that's fine, but you have a quarterback who's playing gun shy because of it. You want that? I don't think that's good long term. I'm sorry, but I don't. All right, I don't. Chester says, I know it's only 2 weeks in, but this offense looks pathetic. The offensive coordinator is trying to protect himself. The offensive coordinator has been a joke. I know John doesn't want to put it on him at all, but it's been an abject disaster. In week 1, Jalen Hurts had to literally put the entire offense on his back, run for first downs, figure out what to do in any circumstance because nobody was open. Nobody was moving the ball downfield. It was all on Jalen Hurts. It was all on Jalen Hurts. And week 2, they're lucky the Chiefs had nobody on offense because they couldn't move the ball for shit. Vic Fangio was bringing the house like he was Steve Spagnuolo, which you never see, which shows you how much they didn't believe in the Chiefs offense. See, Dank says, okay, Jalen's not good. I don't think it's that at all. I know some people do think it's that. I have seen Jalen operate, throwing the ball downfield effectively, dominating. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. You can type things in this chat. You can't lie to what my eyeballs have seen. I have watched with my own 2 eyes Jalen Hurts throw the ball and crush teams by moving the ball downfield. Getting A.J. Brown involved, getting Devontae Smith involved. I've seen it. I'm not saying, I know, Dank, you're not coming at me. I'm just answering it because it's good context. I've seen it. Now it's just like, don't do it. What if we have a turnover? Don't do it. I don't live my life that way. I would assume most people don't live their life that way. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that goofy-ass movie. What's that goofy-ass movie back in the day? What's that goofy-ass movie back in the day? It's a weird-ass movie. Not my type of movie, but I remember I used to watch it when I would carpool with kids to hockey, and they would turn on that goofy-ass shit. And the dude's afraid of the sun, so he hides in the closet. It's this goofy softball movie or whatever it is. Anybody know the name of this movie where some dude hides in the closet because he's afraid of the sun and he, like, eats sunscreen? Anybody know what movie I'm talking about? Benchwarmers. Thank you, Izzy B. That's what it is. That's what it reminds me of. They play scared. Oh, we can't turn the ball over. Don't go out in the sun. Don't throw the football. God forbid we throw the football because there's an opportunity for a pick. Stupid. I mean, come on, man. Come on. We're afraid of our own shadow. With the best offensive personnel in all of football, we're afraid of our own shadow. Afraid of our own shadow. Deshay says, what? I never heard of that shit. Deshay, don't seek it out. It's one of the worst movies you'll ever see. All right? It's one of the worst movies you'll ever see. No need to seek it out. But it reminded me of you know, when I was a kid, and God bless my father, who I love dearly. You know, if there was ever a situation, all right, where I didn't have confidence, and this is I believe me, God's honest, this is such a good life lesson for me. Growing up, this was when I was really young. My dad used to go, boo, boo, boo. What are you afraid? Boo. If you fucking sit there and let life treat you, slap you around, you're going to get slapped around. Have some confidence. Stop spooking people. It drives me fucking crazy that a quarterback that won the MVP in a Super Bowl, not from Saquon Barkley, from throwing the ball in the air, okay, from using his talents, won a Super Bowl, got an MVP in it, and the only thing that we want to say is, let's not try and get him to use that talent better. Let's just don't throw the ball downfield. Unless you have a busted coverage, don't throw the ball downfield. Just made that it's not a good way to go about it. Again, maybe I'm fucking wrong. Maybe I'll be eating my crow and I'll be on a parade float on Broad Street in 6 months from now. Hey, maybe I will be. And believe me, I'll be happy to be there. Believe me, I'll be happy to be there. But I do not understand why we have reduced this offense with this amount of talent. Like, guys, we're not the Kansas City Chiefs. We're not throwing the ball to Tyquan Thornton. If we had those weapons, I'd be like, yeah, it's a good idea. Keep mistakes to a minimum. Beat them with your defense. Beat them with your running game. and win football games and get to the next week. If we had that type of talent, I would say, agreed. Agreed. We have the best offensive personnel in football. It's not close. It's not close. It's not even close. Find me another team that has personnel like this. They don't. Nope, nobody does. Teams might have great wide receivers. They don't have the offensive line. Team might have a great running back. They're lacking it in wide receivers. We have everything. Everything. Let your nuts hang. Impose your will. Come on, man. Let your fucking balls drop, Nick. Come on, Nick. Let's get to some super chats. I'm fired up. Brian Pumper says, I miss Tanner. I don't miss Tanner. I miss allowing our quarterback that we have that's proven beyond the benefit of the doubt, all right, that he can play, that he can deliver the goods, that he can deliver the football, that he can do what we need to be one of the most successful teams in football as we have been since he took the helm. That's what I miss. We neutered him. Get in the closet, get afraid of the sun, and do what we tell you. Hand the ball off, and when plays break down, use your legs to pick up 5 yards and a first down. That's what we've become on offense. Here's Brian Fleming. That's where I got the word neutering. Thanks, Brian. Neutering Jalen is not only dumb, but it's hypocritical at times because they have no problem having him throw vertical go balls. Yeah, and they've even lessened those because defense has picked up on that's the only thing they're doing. But that's not the only thing Jalen's capable of. And I'm not buying that. I'm not buying into that dumbass narrative either. Oh, Jalen can only throw the vertical go ball. Bullshit. Bull freaking shit. Every time there's a narrative against Jalen Hurts, at some point or another, whether it's as consistent as Brian Pumper and underdog like or not, he comes out and shows you it's not a real narrative. You can't throw to the middle of the field. One day he comes out, he throws all over the middle of the field. He can't throw the ball. Pittsburgh, he comes out, he throws for 290 yards and 3 touchdowns. You want to he can only win because of Saquon Barkley. How about 22 when he was an MVP candidate and went to the Super Bowl? How about the Super Bowl when Spags, loaded the box and took away Saquon and he beat you through the air? Every time there's a narrative on Jalen Hurts, he proves it wrong. And it's almost like his own coaches, his own team, his own front office shuts their eyes to it. People get mad at me. Oh, we're winning. Dude, get mad at the front office. They don't even want to give him the opportunity. They don't even think he's earned the right to make those decisions himself. Here's Brian Pump. Here's the key. A lot of delusional people in this fan base want Jalen Hurts to be in the top 5 convo, but they don't hold him to the top 5 standards. Yeah, but they're not. Brian Pumper, they're not running an offense right now that would even allow Jalen Hurts to be in the top 5 conversation, to be held to that standard. Don't push the ball downfield. Don't turn the football over. They've neutered him. It's the perfect word. They've 0 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, and we're 2-0. That's what they want. They don't even want him to be a difference maker in the game. They've taken it completely out of his hands. When, again, some people in this chat, I'm sure, will say, well, it's because Jalen's not good enough. Bullshit. Jalen Hurts was in the MVP conversation, and we went to a Super Bowl. We were one holding call away from winning the Super Bowl. What were Jalen's stats in that Super Bowl? And again, I'm not a stat merchant. I'm not trying to be a stat. I just want Jalen to play free again. I want him to play like he has belief in his guys and himself and what the offense is capable of. Not reducing it down to, okay, we'll make the least amount of plays possible, and as long as we win the game by 3 points, we're good. Dude, you got the best offense in football. Dominate. Do what you can to reach your potential. You're going to fall short. Obviously, shoot for the moon, land on the stars. Oh, man. ZZ checks in. Steichen had him at an MVP frontrunner until he missed 2 games. How do you go from that to getting babysat by your coach and offensive coordinators? He's literally on a leash. ZZ says exactly what I've been saying on this Zander time. All right. Yeah, I don't know. All right, I don't know. I know it's only 2 games, guys. All right. I know it's only 2 games. All right. I'll take a couple more comments, see what you guys think. I'm done rambling. I've been rambling for 30 minutes. Dirty Air says, thanks, Dirty Air, for the super chat, brother. We need our wide receivers to be comfortable when it's time, so it isn't exactly the best approach, but I think that's what's happening. Well, let me see. I think you said, all right, you sent one first. Let me read this one first. Dirty Air says, the more you show now, the longer other teams have to account for what you're doing. It's the Sirianni way. Don't show too much, knowing you can bust it out when needed. But we need our wide receivers to be comfortable when it's time, so it isn't exactly the best approach, but I think that's what's happening. Well, maybe. If that is what's happening, then I live my entire life with a different philosophy than that. All right? I live my entire life with a different philosophy than that. Here's Kimberly. This offense looks like Kimberly says, this offense looks like a dog's ass. Damn, dogs all over the world are catching strays right now. All right. Philly says Sills is polluting my. He has nothing to do with this take, my friend. 0 to do with this take. 4 for 4. This is an Eagles fan talking to you about being happy that we have the best offense I've ever seen in my life when it comes to personnel, talent, and players. And instead of using that, instead of saying, what a golden opportunity this is, if we can turn this thing into a high-powered machine, nobody will fucking touch us, especially with Vic Fangio on the other side. That's where this comes from. This has 0 to do with Sills. So don't give me that. What, now anytime anybody has a question on the Eagles, it's Sills polluting the mind? Dude, it sounds like you're polluted. All right, 4 for 4. It sounds like you're polluted. Here's Denise, my girl Denise. She says, Eagles are going to turn up and you'll have egg on your face. Denise, honest to God, Denise, there is nothing I want more than to have egg on my face with this. Because that means the Eagles will have let their nuts hang, as I said. Let the nuts hang. Boo! I'm going to start using the same thing. Boo! Yo, Nick, boo! Defense is coming for you, boo! What, are you scared? Come on, man. Denise, I hope you're right. I want you to be right, Denise. I want you to be right. I do, because that means they'll have let the offense become what this offense is capable of. Not some reductionist bullshit that just does enough to get by each week. That's like, think about that mindset in life. Think about if I came on this show and was just like, all I want to do is enough to get by. I wouldn't be here right now. I would have ended the show at 9:59 and 59 seconds. See you tomorrow, everybody. Who approaches life like that? Oh, let me do just enough to get by. Just enough. That's all I want to do. I have no desires for more than that in life. I have no desires to fulfill anything more than just enough. I don't like that. I'm sorry. That's just not me. That's just not. I don't like that. Here's John. Hurts isn't good enough to overcome his own turnovers and bring his team back like other quarterbacks that can do it. So they limit him to reduce those chances. I'm calling bullshit on that. John, I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that for a second. Fly Eagles Fly says, I agree. I feel like I'm a girl and I have a bigger flipping balls. Are you kidding me? Fly Eagles Fly, nuts are hanging. She's calling on Nick. Hey, Nick, let them balls drop, Nick. Come on, man. Fly Eagles Fly, I feel like I'm a girl and I have bigger flipping balls. It's maddening with the talent we have. Let it flip and fly. I couldn't agree more. All right. Jose says, Zander, you're just a rambler. Okay, Jose. I never even seen you here, dude. Get out of here if you don't like it. Here's Dirty Air. Dirty Air says, Chris Jones' comments to Jalen show that other teams think we can't do it. I'm telling you, Nick is a weirdo with competitive advantage mindset. Yeah, well, it's a stupid mindset. All right. Here's Brian Pump. I know the Jalen Hurts Colt members want us to forget 23 when he turned the ball over 23 times, but it happened. Handcuffs were a direct result. Yeah, but that's the outlier. That's not the norm. I'll pull it up for you right now. All right. Interceptions by year. 21, he had 9. 22, he had 6. 23, he had 15. 24, he had 5. 2020, he had 4 early. 15 is the only outlier there. 23 was the outlier. To let the outlier become the norm is in my opinion stupid. All right. ZZ says this needs to be on TikTok Live and Twitch, bro. I'm on Twitch, but I don't really use it. I just use it for backup. How do I get on TikTok Live? I think TikTok Live would love this shit. All right. How do I get it on there, ZZZ? Who wants to help me get it on there? Who wants to get it on there? Here's Pump. He says, not the norm. Jalen has had one great season and one bad season. The other seasons were mid, Zander. Come on now. Yeah, I don't agree. 22, he was in the MVP conversation. And that offense, I mean, that thing is so far gone. You know, for all the people, and I'm kind of with John on this in terms of, you know, it looks similar. It is completely different. Like they don't run RPOs. When is the last RPO you saw Jalen Hurts run? When is the last time you saw Jalen Hurts with full autonomy to call an RPO and make a decision about whether to run or whether to pass based on what the defense does? They don't do it. Straightjacket, it's 100% true. It's a straightjacket for Jalen Hurts. Now, look, the positive here is that we have Jalen Hurts, who's capable of winning this way, and is all he cares about is winning. So he's allowed this, in a way, has allowed this to happen and has used it to, you know, be able to find ways to win. But anybody that believes that we should be beating teams like the Chiefs without any receivers by 3 points because the offense just, you know, takes 0 shots downfield. 0 shots downfield. You had a team that blitzed on 15 of 25 dropbacks. All right. The highest in Spags is, I forget what the stat was, one of the higher blitz percentages across the league. And you took 1 shot downfield. One with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm sorry for rambling. It's a 40-minute Zander time, and we've talked about one subject, but Master Eagle says we need a fearless offensive coordinator, Big Z. We do. I like that word, fearless. Fearless. You got the talent. Use it. Come on, man. Let's go. Just like I would tell all of you, are you living up to your potential? Am I living up to my potential? No, probably not. I probably could be doing more, could be doing better, as we all could. That's part of life. But at the very least, we're going to strive for it. At the very least, we're going to analyze it and push for it and hope to achieve it and continue to try and do the things day in and day out to reach our best form. The Eagles are just like, we can minimize this down to doing the least amount possible. And as long as we don't turn the ball over, we'll squeak out some wins. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. I think it could be better. Izzy says, I want the offense to look better, but until we have a problem losing, I think I'm going to ride this one. I think that's fair, Izzy B. I'm probably overreacting a little bit early in the season, and that's okay. I'm fine to admit that I'm overreacting. But, there was that quote that Jalen had last year. What was that quote that Jalen had last year? What was the quote that Jalen had last year? About, the problem's not a problem until it comes, or whatever it was, something like that. Anybody remember what that Jalen Hurts quote was last year? Yeah, Dirty Hair, which one? He's got a lot of them. The one about the problem where it could bite you in the ass, once it bites. Yeah, you don't know until it comes and bites you in the ass or something. Get him out of the straitjacket. Come on. I'm not talking about the straitjacket comment. I'm talking about the Jalen Hurts quote on. Let me find this comment. Yeah, I can't find it. Emre says siliofication. This is not siliofication. Such a dumb comment, Emre. Dio says, what if this is how Jalen wants to play? Well, maybe you're right, man. Maybe you're right. Maybe Jalen does want to play like this. Unsealed says overreaction Wednesday. Look, I've acknowledged I'm probably overreacting too early, but it bothers me that we have a team that's as good as this, and we have the potential to reach the heights that we have, and they're not even trying to uncover it. Again, I gave you the stat. Right now, Jalen Hurts' average depth of target, he's 33rd, not even in the top 32. 33rd out of 34 quarterbacks that have more than 20 snaps of football this year. 33rd. That's how little they're trying to push the ball downfield. That's how little. And mind you, we're not throwing to Tyquan Thornton. We're not throwing to Britton Covey. Sorry for Britton Covey for catching a stray this morning. We're throwing to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Rizzy says, keep the main thing the main. Look, you're right. Underdog says, Jalen Hurts works his ass off. You're no doubt. That's my favorite part about him. All right. I take a lot of that into my own life. He'll show flashes. It won't be consistency. Underdog, they're not. But here's the thing, Underdog, and I understand where you're coming from because I know you're not the biggest Jalen Hurts fan in the world. But, dude, they don't even give him the chance. Underdog, like imagine a world if they put him in position, all right, to be consistent. And even if he wasn't, even if he had to go through the failures, even if he had to go through the trials and tribulations of learning how to play that way, they haven't even given him that opportunity. They don't even allow him to try and learn and work through that process like every other quarterback in the league, by the way, does. How many times has there been periods where Josh Allen looked like shit or Joe Burrow couldn't figure it out or had a bunch of turnovers in a couple of weeks spent? It's universal. There's a learning curve in being an NFL quarterback. And the learning curves, by the way, never go away. Ask Tom Brady, who went on a 10-year hiatus before he won his next Super Bowl. Won 3, 10 years later. Still hasn't won another one. You think Tom Brady didn't have any learning to do in that period after having 3 Super Bowls on his mantle, let alone 1? Learning curves never end. But if you don't put yourself in a position to learn, you're never going to get there. That's my problem with it. They're not even shooting to be better. They're shooting for the minimalist approach, the bare minimum. Just don't turn it over. Like, I don't know. Shantia says, Jalen would not get the same grace given another quarterback. Well, I would find that to be total bullshit, Shantia, if that happened. Now, you're right, because this is Philadelphia. But get in line. I mean, everybody gets it. Look at Kevin Patullo right now. Is he getting grace? Nobody gets grace. He's not, Shantia, he's 2-0 and he's not getting the grace. Like, pick your poison. Either way, it's poison. All right? Either way, it's poison. Let him learn. Let him grow. Let him improve. Let him have the opportunity to get this offense to what the potential is. Brian Pumper said, here's the biggest issue. Hurts is losing his wide receivers, man. AJ and Devontae are now slacking on routes because they're just doing cardio at this point. See, I hate to say this, but I kind of agree with Pumper. If you turn on the tape and you watch some of those routes, those receivers aren't in the game. They're not. That's not the same AJ Brown. I know people don't want to admit that, but that doesn't look like the same. Shantia says, I get it, Zander. I'm just saying, I appreciate it, Shantia. I wasn't trying to bash you. I was just trying to make the point. Dio says, headed to eye doctor. What if Jalen wants to play this way? I got your comment. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it. Maybe he does, man. Maybe he does. 83 Rainy Boy, member for 12 months. Thank you, bro. I'm doing the giveaway in a second here. Sorry, guys. We don't have Shane for the RPO offense to be ran. I don't think you need Shane for that.